The movie starts with a young man named Dean, sitting inside a small cafe. He has been drinking cup after cup of coffee, doing everything he can to keep his eyes open. He tries to get the waitress to bring him one more cup, but she walks past him. He follows her into the kitchen, and there, he sees a dark and scary figure with sharp claws. The figure goes after him, and then Dean snaps awake. He is still at the cafe. He had only fallen asleep for a second. When he looks down at his hand, he sees real cuts from the claws. Not a dream, real. Dean has been trying his hardest not to fall asleep because every single time he closes his eyes, that same scary figure shows up in his dream and tries to kill him. His friend Chris comes to see him at the cafe. Dean tells her everything, the terrible nightmares every time he falls asleep, the fact that he has not slept in 3 days straight. The bad dreams started when he was a child, but lately, they have been feeling more and more real. Chris tells him it is just a dream and he should stop worrying so much. While they are talking, Dean knocks his coffee over Chris by accident, and she goes off to clean up. While waiting for her to come back, Dean just cannot hold on any longer. His eyes close. The scary figure comes back in his dream, and this time, it kills him. In the real world, it looks like Dean has ended his own life. After he dies, everyone thinks it was his own choice. At Dean's funeral, Chris is looking at one of his old photos when she sees something that really shakes her. She is standing in the background of the photo. Even though she and Dean only became friends in high school, she had never met him before that. She tells her ex-boyfriend Jesse about it. She also says that Dean's last words before he died were, "You're not real." To Chris, it felt like Dean had no control over what he was doing, like something else was controlling him. Jesse tells her she is just too tired and stressed, and she should stop thinking about it. Then their friend Nancy comes over to them, and she also thinks something is not right about how Dean died. Jesse does not want Chris getting more upset, so he leads her away. That night, Chris cannot sleep. She goes through her old photos and sees that some are missing. She heads to the garage to look for more photo books and finds a box with an old childhood photo of herself inside, along with a dress that has been cut up. Then she sees it, the same scary figure from Dean's dreams. It grabs her and asks if she remembers him. Chris screams and wakes up in her bed with a jump. The next day at school, after staying up the whole night, Chris falls asleep in class. In her dream, the figure with the sharp claws comes for her again. It gets closer and closer, and just as it is about to hurt her, she screams and wakes up. She touches her hair, and it has been cut, for real. She runs out of the room in a panic. That night, Jesse comes to check on her. He is worried about what happened at school and wants to know what is going on. Chris tells him about the bad dreams she has been having since Dean died, and about the dark figure that keeps coming after her. Jesse asks, "Does the figure have a sharp claw?" Chris goes pale. They are both seeing the same thing in their dreams. Jesse tries to calm her down. Since Chris has not slept in 2 days, she asks Jesse to stay with her. The two of them fall asleep side by side. Then, in her dream, the figure comes back. Chris wakes up and goes to wash her face. But when she comes back to the room, the figure is lying right next to her in the bed. Her body starts moving on its own, and Jesse watches in total shock, unable to do a single thing. Chris gets thrown all around the room, and then she is gone, killed in her sleep. Still shaking, Jesse runs straight to Nancy and tells her what he just saw. Since Nancy had also said at the funeral that something felt wrong about Dean's death, Jesse thinks she might be getting the same dreams too. Nancy tells him she has also been having bad dreams, where she keeps hearing a strange song, and inside that song, she hears a name. Freddy Krueger. Now they have a name for the thing that has been coming after them, the thing that has already killed 2 of their friends. Jesse tells Nancy not to fall asleep. They have no idea who Freddy will go after next, but just as Jesse steps out of Nancy's house, the police are already outside waiting for him. He gets taken in on the thought that he killed Chris. He is locked up, and he does everything he can to stay awake, but his body gives up. He falls asleep and wakes up inside a dark, empty building. 2 small children are staring at him from far away. Then, Freddy Krueger walks out of the dark, his face badly burned, his fingers sharp like knives. Jesse runs, but running does nothing. This is Freddy's world. Freddy controls everything here. Jesse gets caught, and he becomes the next one to die. Meanwhile, Nancy meets up with her friend Quentin, who has been taking pills to stop himself from falling asleep. Just like the others, he has been getting the exact same bad dreams. Nancy cannot understand it. Why are all of them seeing the same thing in their sleep? She asks her mother if she has any link to her friends, if they went to the same school as small children, or if she knows anyone called Freddy. Her mother says no, but she is clearly not telling the whole truth. Later, Nancy runs a bath to wash up and falls asleep in the water by accident. In her dream, she finds herself back at the small school she went to as a little girl. Then Freddy shows up. He tells her she may have forgotten about him, but she has always been his number one. He walks toward her, and just before he gets to her, Nancy is woken up by a call from Quentin. She meets up with Quentin and tells him what Freddy said in her dream. She also tells him she is sure her mother knows more than she is letting on. Together, they start looking for anything that might connect them all to Freddy. They find an old photo from the school they went to as babies. In the photo, Nancy, Quentin, Dean, Chris, and Jesse all went to that same little school together as very young children, but none of them had any memory of it, and their parents had never once talked about it. It had been kept hidden from all of them. Nancy's mother shows up and sees what they have found. With no way out, she finally tells them everything. When they were all at that little school, there was a gardener there called Fred Krueger. Everyone liked him. The children loved being around him, and he seemed to have a soft spot for Nancy in particular. He was always fun and seemed to be a good person. But slowly, the children stopped talking as much. Their parents started finding marks and cuts on their bodies. The truth came out. Fred Krueger had been hurting the children at the school behind everyone's back. When he found out the children had told their parents, he left the city and never came back. It was the most painful thing those families had ever been through, so all the parents made a decision together. They would never talk about it again. They would never tell the children what had happened. They wanted to wipe that memory out completely. After hearing the truth, Nancy goes online and looks up all the other children who had been at that school. What she finds is terrible. Every single one of them had died in their sleep. Only 2 people from that old photo are still alive: Nancy and Quentin. Meanwhile, Quentin, who has not slept in many days, falls asleep while swimming. In his dream, he watches as the parents of all the children from the school chase Freddy through the streets. To get away, Freddy runs into a factory. The parents set the whole building on fire. Freddy burns and dies inside. Now Quentin sees the full picture. Freddy is not killing them for no reason. He wants payback. The children told their parents what he did to them, and those parents chased him down and killed him. Now he is doing the same to them. Together, Nancy and Quentin go to face Quentin's father. Quentin tells him they may have killed a man who did nothing wrong. They were just little kids. They could have been making the whole thing up. But his father does not back down. We could see the fear in their eyes. Freddy was evil. He got what he deserved. But Quentin is still not sure. He tells his father that when they were children, they said Freddy used to take them to a secret cave that their parents never found, that had always stuck with him. Angry and unsure of what to think, Quentin walks out and goes to a chemist to try to get more pills to stay awake. The chemist says no, telling him any more pills could really hurt him. While waiting for Quentin in the car, Nancy fights to keep her eyes open. She has not slept in days, and her body finally gives in. In her dream, she walks into the chemist shop, and Freddy is standing there waiting for her. He comes after her, but then says something she did not expect. He tells her he is not going to kill her. Not yet. Nancy wakes up and looks at her hand. She is holding a small piece of Freddy's jumper. She pulled it out of the dream and into the real world. Nancy is brought to the hospital for her cuts and injuries. The doctor wants to give her something to make her sleep, but Nancy says no. Quentin quietly takes a wake-up shot from the hospital, something that will keep him from falling asleep. The doctor tells Nancy's mother that her daughter has not slept in days, and if she does not rest soon, it could be really bad for her. When they go to check on her, the room is empty. Nancy and Quentin are already gone. They drive to the little school they all went to as children. Inside, they find the old room that belonged to Freddy, and they find the secret cave he used to take the children to. When they go inside, they find photos that Freddy had taken of the children when they were very small. Seeing those pictures, every last bit of doubt goes away. Freddy was every bit the monster the parents said he was, and now he is coming for the last 2 people left. Nancy thinks of something important. She was able to bring a piece of Freddy's jumper out of the dream world. That means it might be possible to bring Freddy himself out too. But to do that, she has to go to sleep. She tells Quentin the plan. She will fall asleep. The moment she starts to struggle, he has to wake her up. If it works, they can pull Freddy into the real world and end him for good. Nancy closes her eyes, but a few seconds later, Quentin falls asleep too. In his dream, Freddy finds him straight away and hurts him badly. Just before Freddy can finish him off, Nancy shows up and draws Freddy's attention to herself. She runs, but Freddy owns this world, and there is no way out. He catches her, ties her to a bed, and puts her in the same small dress she wore at the school as a child. He tells her he kept her for last. His plan is to keep Nancy with him in his dream world forever. While her body stays still in the real world, her mind will be stuck with him forever. Back in the real world, Quentin wakes up. Nancy is still asleep and will not wake up. He grabs the wake-up shot and pushes it into her arm. Nancy's eyes fly open, and along with her, Freddy gets pulled into the real world too. Quentin goes after him, but Freddy is too powerful. He is about to kill Quentin when Nancy comes from behind and cuts off his hand. She looks him in the eyes and finishes him off. Freddy Krueger is dead. Nancy and Quentin set the whole place on fire and walk out. The fire crew and police show up. Quentin gets taken away in an ambulance. They are both worn out, hurt, and free. It is over. Later, Nancy gets home with her mother. The house is still and quiet. They are safe, or so they believe, because Freddy is still alive. He smashes through the mirror, grabs Nancy's mother, and pulls her into his world. Nancy screams, and the screen goes dark. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think about this movie down below in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more recaps.